So here we will have the list of balances from the ledger. So we have to post this to the balance sheet. So we have all the numbers which are like pertaining to balance sheet. Okay, and we are just going to post it. So we'll start. So we have plant and machinery and land and buildings. Okay, so plant and buildings and land and machinery will be usually added together and they will be like put. So we'll take these numbers as 14 lakhs. So the next one is furniture. Or better, we'll create a working note for this. So plant would be and land would be so we also have furniture here. So furniture we'll also put it under because it is also an asset and we can't classify under this asset. So we'll put furniture under plant and machinery, property, plant and equipment we'll put. The total number we'll put it here. And we have cash in hand. So cash would be available. So that is 1,50,000. So the next is going to be bank overdraft. Okay. So we have bank overdraft. So bank overdraft is a liability. So we have overdraft here. So we'll just add the word bank and that comes to 1,80,000. The next is debtors and creditors. So debtors would be referred to as receivables. So here we have that. So debtors would usually be a debit item or even receivables will be only a debit item because it's an asset. And the payables or creditors would be a credit item. So credit item is 2,40,000. So we'll put that here. So the next item is bills receivable and payable. So again they have a one more number. So receivable is 1 lakh. So we'll add it with this number itself. So it comes to 4,20,000. And so I think in bracket we will show it. We'll show it as 3,20,000 or better 3,20,000 plus 1 lakh. And in the same way, we'll also add to the payables. So it would be 2,40,000 plus 60. So that was going to be 3 lakh. So the next is closing stock. So closing stock is an inventory. So here we have it. So closing stock inventory would be 4 lakhs. Okay, don't get confused with the names because you have to be very clear with the names. Stock refers to inventory. Okay, and next one is investments. It's short-term investments. So short-term investments would be available here. If it's not available, you can just insert one. Short-term investments. That's 80,000. So the next is capital is 15 lakhs. And there is withdrawals. Okay, so there is drawings So normally in companies we don't have the word drawings. Okay, so what we'll do is we will deduct the capital and drawings. Okay, from capital. Okay, because normally in companies accounts we don't have drawings as an element, only in a person account. Okay, in a single person account only we'll have that kind of drawings. So that comes to 13,70,000. And last one is net profit. Okay, so net profit should be added with the, or net profit can also be shown as a part of reserve. Okay, because it's added to the reserve, so you can show the net profit as 6,20,000. Okay, so the other numbers we can eliminate them now. So the total of the property plant equipment comes to 15,50,000, and all the current assets put together we can add, and that comes to 10,50,000. So we shall still add the current liabilities comes to total of 4,80,000. So our balance sheet is not again tallying. Okay, so our balance sheet is not telling. We'll just try to find out where the mistake could be. So the mistake is in terms of typing. So you could see here the cash in hand is 20,000. We have taken it as 1,50,000. So if we could adjust this, I think we'll get our answer correctly. So that comes to 9,20,000. So we'll amend 9,20,000. Okay, and the answer comes to 24,70,000. So this is how you have to do it. And we have used only one working note. Okay, but if you could use more working note, that would have been like great. You could have used a working note here, and you could have used a working note here, and another one here, because we should not like add any items in here and show it. But as this is just an illustration, we can just do it here itself. Okay, so that's about like posting from your trial balance, okay, to the balance sheet. So now we'll move on to create a final accounts problem. Okay, so final accounts problems are like this. So you have an entire trial balance, okay, and all these balances goes into the P&L as well as the SOFP. So what we'll do is we'll do this kind of a problem, and we'll see how the balances from P&L moves to SOFP. So we'll start. So here we have again capital, So we have capital, equity capital of 1,20,000. Next is debtors and creditors. So debtors is trade receivable, so that comes to 22,000, and payables is 22,500, and next is sales 59,700. And next is, again, we have drawings. Usually in companies we don't have drawings. The next one is cash in hand. So we have cash in hand and bank. So we'll add both and we can show it. So that comes to 8,200 plus 30,000. So that comes to 38,200. Wages is 2,500. So wages should be shown under cost of sales heading. So we have a cost of sales heading here. Okay, so wages is 2,500. We have purchases, which is 10,000. So usually purchase refers to raw material purchase only, unless it is told as any other purchase. So we have opening stock of 30,000. Business premises refers to property, building and land. So we don't have any machinery thereafter. So we'll put the 60,000 directly to property, plant and equipment. So we have bills receivable. Okay, so 14,500 we have. So already we have had a debtor here. So we'll add with that the 14,500 off. So that comes to 36,500. Next one is office telephone expenses. So if there's any admin expense, we can add with that. Yes, we have an admin expense. So 3,500, and we can also add the general office expense, which is 9,000. So put together, we can put it in brackets. And finally, we have goodwill. So goodwill is an intangible. So we can hyphen goodwill, we can put. So goodwill comes to 10,500. So these are the numbers that we have. So we can close our accounts here. So first we have to close our cost of sales. So cost of sales comes to 42,500. So we'll go here and we'll put 42,500. So next is to get gross profit. From sales, we'll direct the cost of sales. We got gross profit. We don't have any selling and distribution expense. We have administrative expense, so that we have directed. We don't have any other expense as well as tax. So we can directly have our profit from operations as the net profit for the year. So the net profit for the year 4,700 would be added to the retained earnings or the reserve of that year. So we could put 4,700 here, and we can close the balance sheet now. So we'll first close the current assets. Current asset come to 74,700. And we'll now close the liability side. Okay, so our balance sheet gets tallied. So this is the movement of numbers from the trial balance to SOPL. From SOPL it goes to SOFP. Then we adjust it and we work it. If there are like many items, okay, if there is going to be like many items, we have to separately open a working note for each and every item. Okay, so here we have only like cost of sales, which has like 3 items inside. But if you see that, we should have opened a working note for administrative cost, for trade receivables also we should have opened, equity also we should have opened, but we have not done that. Rather than doing that, we have simply adjusted it within the frame. Okay, within the framework we shouldn't have done that, but still it is like a little bit time consuming. Okay, it's like if you open a lot of working notes, it takes a lot of time for us. So we'll do one more sum in final accounts. Okay, a similar kind of a sum, so that we'll get a better idea of how all these numbers work, and then we can we will move to uh, another kind of a problem. So we'll start from here. From the trial balance of Ajit and the adjustments given below, prepare trading profit and loss account for the year 31st March 2016 and balance sheet as on that date. So we will prepare both an SOPL and an SOFP. Okay, so what we did in the earlier sum, the same thing is what we are going to do now. So we'll start. So the first item that we have is opening stock. So opening stock should go to the COGS. Next is furniture and fittings. So we'll directly put it under property, plant, equipment, because there's no other assets, I think. Purchases is 40,000. Okay, so we were with purchases. So purchase was 40,000. Next is sales returns. So returns is 2,000. We'll adjust in the sales itself. Next is carriage inward. So carriage inward is 10,000. So the next is office rent. So office rent, I think we'll directly put under administrative expense, which is 23,000. Next is debtors. So we'll put under receivables. Amount comes to 20,100. Next is bank balance. So we'll put it as bank. That comes to 19,600. The next is bad debts. So bad debts is an expense. Okay, and this expense we can show it under sales and distribution or admin expense. Okay, so what we'll do is we can show it under uh, admin expense. So we already have 23,000 of rent. I think we'll add this 900 of bad debits there, so thereby this number comes to 23,900. We have capital, we have return outwards. So return outwards is purchase returns. So we already have purchase here. So from purchase we will direct the purchase returns or return outwards. The next one is bills payable. So we have here trade payable. So that's 10,000. So we have two provisions. Okay, so these provisions have already been done for the last year. Okay, so these have to be shown only on the liability side. So we have to show it under current liability. So both the provisions we can add and we can simply show them. So both provisions together comes to 600. So that's about it. I think we can close the sum. Okay, I think we left one number. Okay, I think we left revenue. Revenue was 1,24,000. So after the 2,000 of sales return, it comes to 1,22,000. We have to get the cost of sales number. We have to get. So we'll get our closing cost of sales amount. So cost of sales amount comes to 64,000. So we'll get our profit from operations, and net profit is 3,400. 3,400 has to be added to reserves. So we could directly put that number here. So we can now close our accounts. So 39,700 is the current liabilities, and 10,600 is our current liabilities, and our current asset was 39,700. So we'll just check. Okay, so we got the answer. So it's 69,700 which is getting tallied here. Okay, so when compared to last problems, we have several like different items here. Okay, don't get confused with the name of the items. Okay, and try to know like how they are going to be posted. Okay, so that's about the problem here. This is about the balance sheet.